Well, that's different. That's not the usual theme. What's going on here? It's like Castlevania. This is like proper drink stuff right here. Just like ballroom setting, but it might be haunted or something, like spooky. Ooh, ghosts dancing around. You feel it? That's what I feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dracula.
Yeah, very Well, it's Castlevania music. That's what it is. That's what it is. Wow. Get around the copyright stuff by playing video game music. That's what I do here. Okay. So, Horror Talk Radio, your host, MrDeadman. With us here tonight is Kara and Petal. How's it going, Kara?
Great. Thank you for having us.
And how are you doing, Petal?
I'm great. Thank you for having us as well.
No problem. Now, I understand that you guys love horror so much. You're like big fans of horror, right?
One of us is.
Oh.
Yes, one.
One. This should be an interesting show. Okay. Well, we'll explore that. We're also going to talk about extreme horror. When is horror too extreme? And I think this might be interesting with Kara being not so much into horror and Petal being into horror. And there's me. I like just pretty much everything horror except for like the only kind of genre I don't really care much for is like the paranormal stuff. Like when I say paranormal, I mean like Paranormal Activity. Like those movies.
Like ghosts?
Well, the ghost movies
Alien.
are fine. Ghost movies are fine,
Yeah.
but it's like when it seems like it's done cheaply and it's like, come on, man.
Oh.
Like Paranormal Activity was one of those movies where I turned to my wife, who was my fiance at the time. I was like, we could have made this in our house. You know? So anyway,
Yeah.
let me go ahead and let you guys introduce yourselves. I ask pretty much one question in the beginning. That is, who are you and what do you do? Whoever wants to go first.
Okay, Petal, go ahead.
All right. My name's Rachel Harrison. My husband's Patrick Harrison. Some of you may know him as PC3, author and co-owner of DHP. But I tend to go by Petal online, and I'm currently working as a massage therapist part-time, and the other part of my time I do gun shows. I know it might be a bad subject for certain people, but
Gun shows are fun.
I sell guns and on weekends, so that's what I do.
Hey, that's not bad. What about for you, Kara?
No, it's not.
Okay, well, Jared, Barbie, and Patrick co-own Death's Head Press, so I'm Jared's wife, and we just had our 9th anniversary, so we've been together for a while.
Congrats.
And when I'm not hanging out with him and helping with book stuff, I teach at a community college. I teach biology.
Oh, biology. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And
Yeah.
are you?
She's being shy.
Are you
she
the
has
editor?
A doctorate degree. She's super smart.
A doctor degree.
no.
Being shy.
Nope. I just lucked out. That's all. I just think of it as being lucky.
Dr. Kara Barbie.
You're a doctor? You got a
Well, as far as,
PhD?
I have a PhD. Yeah.
So yeah, you're Dr. Kara. Dr. Kara.
Yeah.
Dr. Kara Barbie?
Yeah.
All right, Dr. Barbie, how's it going? we got an expert
You
here.
don't have to call me that.
All right, so we got Dr. Barbie, got Petal there. Look at that. All right. Now, of course, and that's why, Kara, I mean, you are the editor, pretty much, of Death's Head Press.
No, not at all.
No? No? Oh, I'm surprised. I'm surprised.
No, I don't have any like English background, like as far as books go.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, Kara, are you a fan of horror?
Not at all.
Not
Scale
at
of
all.
0 to 5, 0.
What?
-1 maybe.
You know what show you're on, right? It's Horror Talk Radio. I don't.
I know.
What? Right? And Petal, are you a fan of horror?
I dragged her into it.
What about Petal? Are you a fan of horror?
Yes, I am.
You are?
I am a very big horror. Yes. I may not be able to name names and many movie titles, but I haven't found many that have scared me this far, so.
Oh, it's okay. I have a Biden memory too. It's okay. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Sometimes we just forget. Sometimes we even forget where we are. It happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going to explore that. Okay? First, Kara, why do you not like horror so much? And how can you not like horror when your husband is Jared, part of Death Set Press?
I know. You'd think that would be scary enough. I'd deal with it better. But I just never have. I know like y'all watch horror movies and like watch somebody like being chased in the woods with an axe or whatever. And y'all like are like, ha ha ha. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so scared for that person. Like I'm empathetic. Like I think, oh my God, how would I feel if I had my arm chopped off? Oh, it wouldn't feel good. And I don't like that, I guess.
So you don't like it? You don't like seeing people get injured and maimed and blood all over the place? But
oh no.
But you got a doctorate in biology. Well, I guess.
Yeah, but I don't go and cut people's hands off.
No, but don't you have to do like don't you have to cut up a couple of frogs and stuff?
Yeah, but they're already dead.
You're thinking of dissection.
Dissection.
Yeah.
That's right. Dissection. You don't have to dissect like cadavers either. I mean, I read a couple of Lovecraft stories, like the Reanimator, and they had to dissect human bodies. I mean, you didn't have to do that?
No, that's like it. You have to do that if you go to medical school. I didn't go to medical school.
Okay.
So.
All right.
But still, even if you were dissecting, huh?
I said I watched The Reanimator. You wouldn't like it, Kara. It's horrible.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. No.
It's good. It's good. I'm not saying it's horrible. It is a very good horror movie. I think I actually watched it with PC3 when he was afar. We both watched it at the same time, at a distance. But no, it's very good. But Kara wouldn't like it. No.
Oh, okay. Not. So you don't like horror because of the gore and stuff. But what about? I mean, do you get scared? Like.
Very easily, and I don't like that.
Easily scared.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Like do you remember that scary movie that came out like back in the late '90s, and it was supposed to be like a parody of a horror show?
Scary movie.
And it was supposed to be. Yeah, it was supposed to be funny, not scary.
It was pretty funny. No.
Yeah, it was scary to me. Like.
Was it the part where the dick came out of the glory hole? Was it that part where it went through the guy's ear?
I don't think so.
No, that scared me. I was like, "Well, what? They actually put that in a movie?" I was like, "What?" Oh, okay. Well, so we have an interesting spectrum to work with here. Kara is extreme. Like, I can't handle horror. Afraid. That's very.
And like, Pedal's like, "Give me more."
Like a horror virgin.
Yes.
Wow.
I actually would like to have. I would like to hear more. I really feel like I haven't reached my limit with extreme horror or gore yet. I know of a few, but I would like to hear about other people's idea of extreme horror or gore and what they would suggest movie-wise.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to get into that in this episode here. First, let me get this perspective or this framing down just right. So we got Kara, who's pretty much horror virgin. And we got Pedal here, who is so how. Tell me about your story with horror. Like, did you get exposed early on? Are you a huge fan of it? Or horror fiend? You watch all the time? You read horror all the time? Like, tell me about you.
I wouldn't say that I wouldn't say I read it all the time. I don't know when I was exposed. I mean, I remember being scared of the movie Chucky whenever I was a child. I was scared to death, and my parents had these little dolls in my room, and once I saw that movie, I could not sleep in that room with those dolls. That Chucky movie was horrifying to me. But I don't know what changed my path, but something did, and I don't know. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Okay.
I don't know.
But you definitely like horror. And what about the extreme elements of horror? Like what about, I'll mention a movie. What about like something like, let's say, Saw?
I enjoy Saw.
Okay.
I mean, I think now it's a little outdated and they've done things that's gone beyond Saw. So I enjoy to explore the new things that are happening, but yeah, it doesn't make me want to vomit. I know Kara would. She would. She so would. She would not want to see any of those scenes. They're horrible.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's just everybody's completely different. Everybody has a different opinion of gore and horror, so.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, Kara's a horror virgin. Petal, not so much. Petal loves horror. Okay. So, Kara, how do you manage that? First off, because you are the wife of Jared, who's part of Death's Head Press, who they have released some pretty good stuff, like from Hell's and Hell's Followed, and the Western splatterpunk stuff is really good. How do you live with that? I mean, how do you live with that? It must be hard to be with a horror author or a horror publisher, right? Because you have to read his stuff. Like, how does that work?
Well, I don't necessarily, because, he has a whole lot of, Death's Head Press has really blossomed in their first few years. So they have lots of beta readers that read for him, and so I don't have to fulfill that role as much. So that's really nice. I mean, I try to help, like, by going to the conventions and things like that. I'm more of kind of a support role, but I have to watch if he reads something and he wants to tell me about it. I have to be like, whoa. Well, I don't need to know the whole thing. Because if he's like, oh, let me tell you about this one part, I'm like, no, nope, don't tell me.
Okay.
So that's probably the worst part.
Yet at the same time, you've read some stuff of his or some stuff by Death Head Press that you did enjoy. I did.
Well, yeah, the two books. That's it. Now I do want to read all of the splatter westerns. That's kind of my goal over the summer. So I know, like I said, he's kind of pulling me slowly but surely into it. Will I ever get to, like, dead inside level? I don't know. I'm not sure I could ever handle that. But like I said, the Magpie Coffin, you don't think I can?
Do it. No, definitely not. Don't do it.
Okay.
So the Magpie Coffin,
not dead inside.
Like you mentioned this book here, which has some
several. Yeah.
This book, I would say, has some pretty extreme stuff in it. I mean, it has elements of, like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of stuff. I mean, there's a scene, which, by the way, guys, if you don't know what this is a splatter western book, okay? There's a scene where you pretty much follow, like, this lone gunman sort of guy, like a Clint Eastwood sort of dude. And the guy's not dead. He shoots somebody. Instead of letting him die, he puts his body in a carcass of a buffalo carcass, and sews it back up, so where he's gonna suffocate inside a buffalo. Yep. Like, that is crazy. That is wicked. When I read that, I was like,
that's pretty gruesome.
Who comes
and
up with
like
this stuff?
The very beginning too.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh my God, what is this guy gonna be doing?
Right. So, but you're cool with that. Like, you didn't vomit or anything?
No, I know. I was kind of surprised I held it together so well, but it was just, I guess it was because the story behind it wasn't really like a horror story. It was a revenge story. Oh. And so as long as I can follow the story with it just having horror elements, I think I'm good. If the whole thing is just death and gore and, blood, I don't think I could handle it then.
So, Petal, have you ever seen the movie Bone Tomahawk?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
Bone Tomahawk.
Have I ever seen the movie? No, I have not.
I haven't? Oh, okay. I was hoping maybe you did. Lisa, Kara, when you listen to this, I think you could probably sit through that movie and actually enjoy it. It's kind of like Tombstone, but where the third act is like it turns into a horror movie because they get captured by these natives. It's a Native American tribe, and they're cannibals, and they are very on the fringe. And what happens is a horrific nightmare. It's like only like 30. It's not even like 30 minutes of the movie. It's like 20 minutes of the movie at the very end towards it, and that's what defines the rest of it. That's why it's in the horror section. Just 20 minutes. And like I think an hour and a half movie. Uh-huh. So that's crazy. I think you would enjoy that because you have a whole story following these characters or whatever. You follow the plot, but then you get that one moment. But it's pretty gruesome. It is like disembowelment and shit like that. It's pretty gruesome.
Do you think watching horror is worse than reading it? Do you think it's the same? Like, which one do you think is worse, watching it or reading it?
Well, good question. I think when you read it, it's up to your imagination. So the worst thing you can imagine is going to be what you can imagine. I mean, like, if they try to describe to you a scene that's horrific, like blood all over the place, intestines all over the place, or whatever, they could use all the prose they can to describe that. You're going to pick maybe what you saw in the movie before. Maybe you're like, okay, there's bloody room, intestines, sounds pretty nasty, okay. But it's still your imagination. It might be safe for you. It might be like your brain making like a version where you can tolerate. With a movie, you can show someone something they would not see. Like their mind eye would not design or illustrate it in their head while they're reading a book. And that's the power of a movie where, I mean, that's one thing they can do. What do you think about that, Petal?
Yeah, I guess for me, I guess in my mind, I don't picture horror the way they do in the films. Mm-hmm. The films kind of fulfill my need for that horror or gore or whatever, because my mind does not go there. Mm-hmm. And that's just, I don't know. My mind doesn't go to that place. Sometimes I can't picture it.
So you like to watch the movie because it does it for you. Like, it makes the image for you.
Yeah. Okay. Like, I don't want to picture that, or I don't want to do that to anybody, but sometimes seeing it's just it's kind of like a release in a way of seeing just the craziness that people do, but I would never wish that upon anybody. Okay. Definitely not.
That's interesting. So yeah, like what you described there in a book form, like when you're reading, let's say Magpie Coffin, when it has some gruesome scenes, and maybe Kara, maybe you could jump in on this, but when you're reading those gruesome scenes, you can like edit out in your mind particular things that were described to you if you like the story good enough. If you like the plot, you like what's going on with the character, you're like, I'm on for this ride, I want to read this story. This one particular scene is kind of gruesome. My mind's just going to censor that part. I'm not going to worry too much about that. Yeah, it's pretty bad. That's all I need to know. And let's move on to the next chapter. What's happened next, Whereas a movie, you don't really get that option. It's right there on the screen. If it's bad effects, it's bad effects. It takes you out of the movie. But if it's really good, okay. But you're forced to watch it. You're forced to see it.
Yeah. But that's funny because Petal likes that. Like she wants that. For me, I'll edit it back, but she actually wants that whole thing. So that's really a nice dichotomy. Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole reason why people that don't like horror or gore in movies, they don't go watch the movies. Like, Kara would never go and watch a horror gore movie because that's not her thing. So whether you want to read or watch, you can choose what you read or watch. Mm-hmm. If you like the gore, you like the gore. If you don't, you don't. And Kara's the same way. Like she says, she skips past the parts she doesn't like, and it works for her. So
yeah. And sometimes if a story, okay, so let's say Magpie Coffin, and this story is about revenge, right? So you can get along with that. But now let's say if it was a story that was about something much darker, let's say like Jack Ketchum's Girl Next Door, where a girl's taken into a foster home, and I forgot how old she was. She was not of age, I'll put it that way, where she was repeatedly raped.
Like 10?
Yeah, she was 10 years old, and she was raped while the foster mom was encouraging it, watching it, getting the boys to do it. That right there.
Burning her with cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. Just describing that to you, your reaction to it already tells me that's not a story you would even pick up, even want to read, So there's nothing there's already no interest there, right? So even from the very beginning of that book, the way it's framed, its subject matter and all that, it's something horrible and horrific. It's just, I don't want to touch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what if something good comes from the end of it, though? At the end of the story, what if something good comes after that?
I just can't. I can't. Like, and I know that, like, I think that's one of Jared's favorite books. As far as I think that really kind of introduced him to horror. Like, he loves that, the Girl Next Door book. And I know a lot of people like it, and it might be well written, and it might be a great story. I just can't handle it. It's like when I read that Richard Layman's Cuts that he made me read, because we were going to swap stories, but he never read mine, but I read his. Like, that physically made me sick. Like, I just was like, oh, I have to finish this. Like, it was horrible. I couldn't do the story. I know it was awful. And then he didn't even read my book.
I know, right?
I know. So.
I mean, was there anything you liked from Cuts?
Oh my God, it was so many years ago. Probably that it ended. That's about it.
So you wouldn't reread? You would not read that again.
Oh God, no. I think you're right though. I think if the storyline if I can go along with the storyline, then I'm good. But yeah, I don't think if I can't find anything to hold on to, I can't.
Okay. And the reason why, and once again, just for perspective, what we're talking about here, going to reference back to Mac by Coffin. So, like I said, you like this book from the get-go. You liked how it was framed. It's a revenge story. And it has some horrific elements in it that your mind's eye can just, okay, I'm not going to worry about illustrating that or really spending too much time on that little gruesome fact. We'll move on. Even the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sort of like scene there where things get crazy. I mean, things do get crazy. They're wearing people's faces. But compare that to, like, let's say, Jack Ketchum's book or Cuts, where the book, even the way it's framed right from the beginning, it's tough subject matter, really intense stuff. Yeah. Okay. So now, have you ever tried like a horror movie before? Like, have you tried like? Let's go basic. Let's go. Let's go Halloween. Have you ever watched Halloween?
No.
No.
I didn't even watch Jaws.
Oh, Jaws scared me.
Okay, but yeah, I didn't know.
Jaws is like the best movie ever.
I don't swim out far when I go to the beach. In fact, I don't even swim. Oh my gosh.
I'm so scared. I'm so scared of the ocean and sharks, but I'm so fascinated by them at the same time that it makes me want to know what is underneath those many miles under my little feet in that water. Oh my gosh, it's so scary. You want to know, right?
Are you scared because of the movie Jaws?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I
no,
am.
not because of Jaws. Yeah.
I'm also scared of birds because of the movie The Birds. Thank you.
That's a good movie too. That's good.
I walked in one time. The movie was playing. I was at my grandma's house. The movie was playing on TV, whatever. And I just walked in and I just saw the scene where the birds take the dude's eye out or whatever. And that did it for me. I was like, okay, that's it. Like every time I see a bird, I'm just like, nope, I'm not getting near you. I don't trust you. I know what you do. I saw the movie, and you can't convince me otherwise. I think they're gonna take my eyes out.
When was the last time you saw the movie Thinner by Stephen King?
I seen it once when I was a kid.
No, when was the last that was the last time?
Yeah. So
oh my God.
That one I don't remember too much. I just remember the guy, he was getting like really skinny. I was thinking, now you know what? I need to rewatch it because now I'm thinking about it. It's like it sounds like a pretty good diet plan. I could use that. Curse me, curse me, gypsy, or witch, or I don't know what the PC term is now, but curse me, please, so I can lose some weight.
Is that what the book, or is that what the movie is about?
Isn't it? Doesn't he?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just, I haven't watched it. That's why I was asking, because I was just like coming up upon it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen that in forever. I need to rewatch that. Because that's like one of those classic horror films that's just creepy, kind of like The Fly.
Oh yeah,
just,
the fly's good. The
ooh,
fly's good.
I mean, that's like gets in your skin, and that's kind of how Thinner kind of sits with me. And it's just one of those, but it's a once in a decade kind of movie.
Okay. Now, Kara, do you think like these horror movies are just like too extreme? Like even like Halloween?
No, I think they're normal. I think y'all are normal for liking them. I think I'm the weirdo. I just don't think I can handle them.
You're not the weirdo.
No, I mean, now maybe like some of the more extreme ones, y'all maybe are the weirdos.
Yeah.
But I think like the standard, like what, Jason, Halloween, Freddy Krueger, that group of movies, I think those are pretty normal. I think I'm just a weenie, I guess.
Yeah, and those movies are kind of like more like mainstream, like slasher horrors. I mean, they're like the classic '80s slashers. That's what people know. I mean,
yeah.
You see them in memes all the time in horror places. Now, what about like Saw and Hostel?
I would never watch those. That would be torture. If you put me in front of that and made me like watch, that would be a torture method for me.
That's literally what they do in Hostel, is sit you in a chair and do that to you.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
It's literally torture. So yes, you would be tortured.
Yeah. But don't worry though. They're doing it to douchebag tourists. They totally had it coming. I mean,
I don't think anybody has that coming.
Well,
like, come on, like maybe a few people.
Can we just dream about it for a little bit?
I could never do that. Like to some, I don't know. I like if I pinch you, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. I can't be.
See, I'm thinking right now. I wonder if there's a movie like Pedal and I could recommend for you to watch to try. That it doesn't really seem like horror, but really kind of like surprises you. Let's see where you are. Like,
okay.
I mean, you've seen Silence of the Lambs, right?
No.
She won't like it.
Okay.
She won't like it.
How far will she get into it?
Oh, not very far.
Would she make it past the first act?
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's I'm curious when you would tap out. Like, Pedal, are you familiar with the movie The Audition?
Yes.
Okay. How far do you think she would get in Audition?
In Audition? I mean, it's kind of creepy at the beginning. There's really not a lot going on. You just kind of have to watch, the stuff going on and really pay attention. It's kind of psychological.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think she'd give out after 30, even though there's no gore. I don't think there's any gore after 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Or before.
Yeah.
Before 30 minutes.
Well, yeah, but the first 30 minutes, they're doing the audition thing. So what they're trying to do in the movie, Kara, is the guy's a widowed husband. His wife died of illness or whatever, and all right, he works at a radio company or some sort of I don't know what they do, but a radio station. So he's setting up this bogus audition with advice from his friend to screen applicants for a potential wife. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's like the first 30 minutes of the movie, sort of 20, 30 minutes. That part seems more like a drama or some sort of weird comedy, depending on how you frame it. It's like, what's going on here? But
there's a lot of melancholy in that
Mm-hmm.
in those stages. Yeah, it's kind of a meh.
But then it starts getting weird when you start exploring this girl about who she could possibly be, and it gets kind of creepy. Are you good with people like maimed, like looking like disfigured, like having no feet or wooden feet, or having like cut up hands, like no fingers, and eating regurgitated stuff from a bowl?
Oh God, no! I think that would be gross. I think I'd close my eyes on that.
Damn it! So I don't think you would make it to the last act, which is the best part. The acupuncture scene. Damn it.
And I don't do well with eyes. Like if somebody tries to like stick something in, I can't even watch people put in contacts.
Oh,
So,
I can't do that either. I cannot do that. Okay. I gotta tell you, the audition movie, that was that one particular part, I had to cringe. I was like, ooh, I don't know, because the needle into the eye, that's that reaction right there, that was worth it. Oh yeah, the sound she makes, the little. You were doing a pedal. Was that the little kitty sound? So weird.
She did that when she got stuck in the eyeball.
She was doing it. She was doing it to the man. Yeah.
Oh.
And she'd make that sound. It was like.
Yep.
Yeah, you remember
she's
that?
Like
Oh
so
my god.
Innocent. She's acting so innocent as she does it, and you almost are like, do you want to love her or hate her? Look at her face.
Right.
It's crazy.
All right. Wow. So Petal, what about you? Like, do you think how extreme is too extreme in some of these horror movies?
Okay, well, I definitely do not like anything that has to do with children. I'm not good with. Okay, so like Human Centipede, no, I'm not good with that. Not good with that at all.
I think Carol would love it.
No, and Jared has told me, and I wish he would have never told me.
It's a movie about why you never go ass to mouth. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay.
It's gross. Definitely not. I'm not okay with anything like that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty open when it comes to extreme gore, I guess, in horror, it seems like. But there are certain things that do cross my lines, like children. And I definitely do not like watching those real-life documentaries about animals being abused and anything like that. But it depends. It just depends on how it's cinematically placed, I guess.
Okay.
Because I don't want that to happen for real.
Okay.
So
something, let's say, like Cannibal Holocaust.
For me?
Is that a movie you'd watch?
Yeah, I have seen it. Yeah, that one's a little extreme for me. I tend to like my horror more cinematic and not.
It looked real.
Not that true.
It looked real raw. In fact, it was. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was very raw. It's very true to like what you would think would happen there, And I don't like that. That kind of puts me on the edge. I wouldn't say I wouldn't watch another, but that one kind of cuts it close for me. Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's like, I liked how raw it was. But in Kara, to let you know, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. I don't know if you would ever be interested. It was so raw in its film that authorities actually thought like actors died during the filming of it. So they actually had the director arrested.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, he was released because the actors weren't harmed or killed or anything. But
they made it look that real.
Oh yeah. Very, very real. Very real. They did use real animals, though. They did use real animals.
Did they really?
Yeah, they did, and there's animal vegans and vegetarians are not cool with that. And I eat meat, and I'm also like, you're using real animals? Like, what? That's crazy. Like, what? But supposedly,
why did they do that?
Go ahead.
So,
oh,
to
that's your
lighten
cat.
it up just a bit, Jesse, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Okay, so I know that's very extreme when it comes to cannibalism and everything, and me and my husband are on opposite ends of this movie, so I'm curious if you've seen it. It's called Green Inferno. Have you seen Green Inferno?
Yeah, I've seen Green Inferno.
So what are your thoughts on Green Inferno?
I mean, I thought like the shit jokes and stuff were kind of. I didn't really. It was alright. I didn't really care too much. I didn't really care too much of it. It seemed like he was trying really hard to do Cannibal Holocaust, but also putting in like jokes left and right and you know, having fun with it. It's like, okay.
I don't remember any jokes in that movie.
Oh, when they're all little things like in the beginning when they were like in the cage, whatever, when we round up, the girl was shitting herself.
Oh,
the boogers. That's the one I was talking about. That's the part I was like,
yeah,
okay, what is that?
Right.
That actually did the kill for me. I was like, what is that? Come on.
But it's lighter to Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely lighter. It's definitely lighter. Yeah. I mean, it was alright. It was alright. No, well, why are you and your husband at odds with that movie, though? About that movie?
I don't know. I guess he probably more is on your end of it. I like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was definitely brighter, much more, much more pleasing. Oh, like the colors were much more vivid. The cinematography was a lot better. But
I mean, some of it's a little bit silly. I know some of it's silly, and you know, but
yeah. But sometimes silly can work.
Good.
It depends on what kind of movie. Like going back to the I think it was the diarrhea joke or whatever. I don't even know that was supposed to be a joke or whatever. Looking back at it now, when that happened, I was like, "Is this like a scary movie thing? What's going on here?" You know, it just seemed kind of weird. The sound effect that they use, which I mean, that same director, he did Cabin Fever and stuff. I mean, he also did Hostel. So yeah. So now, are there like? Now I know you don't like horror movies because you can't stomach them, Kara, but do you think like there's a problem with them? Do you have a problem with horror movies, Kara?
No, not like that. I think people shouldn't watch them.
Yeah.
Or like, no.
Okay.
No,
okay,
not
just make
at
sure.
all.
Okay.
No.
So if someone watched okay, what about, let's go extreme here. I want to go really extreme. What if you're talking to somebody who was like, I'm a huge fan of the Serbian film. Do you know what that is?
I mean, I've heard that.
I'm not going to describe in detail. It's
pretty
that bad.
Extreme.
Oh yeah, it is. It's like banned in many countries, I believe.
Yeah.
It's pretty graphic. Involves kids. And involves. Okay, it involves rape and kids. It's gross stuff. Okay, but if someone were to watch that and be like, oh yeah, I'm a huge fan of that movie. I think that movie is like one of the best movies ever. What do you think of that person?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
It can be. This is not a gotcha. This is.
Yeah, no, I know.
We're just talking.
I've never really thought of it like that. I mean, right off the top of my head, I wouldn't necessarily think anything like bad of them.
Would you have concerns? Would you have concerns for them? I'm saying.
I think if that's the only thing that they said, and everything else I got from them was that they were a completely normal, average person, I wouldn't think anything. You know, if there were other things and it just like kept ticking boxes, and then I would be like, okay, you're a weirdo, or you know, there's something wrong with you. But if it's just that, because I get it, like, well, I mean, of course, being married to Jared, he has read some weird stories. And like he told me about like Ed Lee's header books and what a header is and stuff like that. And of course, in my head,
the big head guy, is that?
No, the book's called Header.
Header, okay.
Header by Ed Lee.
Yeah,
oh,
okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. And like what he does to the heads or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, I mean, but I don't think that anything is wrong with Jared. Like, I don't think he's, messed up in the head. I don't think that something's wrong with him for reading that. I think a lot of people just, they just want to be kind of grossed out. Like, that's their thing. And I'm cool with that. Like, I don't, as long as it stays in, and that's what I was going to say. Like, when you were describing how, like, the one movie, like, they killed animals, like, where, like, as far as extreme horror goes, okay, so you like extreme, okay, that's awesome, it's more extreme, but then, like, do most people, like, get the whole cutoff as far as, like, real life and movies?
Are you talking about, like what they see? Are you, like, separating reality from movies?
Yeah, like if I'm watching Saw, okay, I know that none of those people actually got their arms cut off or whatever. But then you watch a video where now you actually know that animals were killed in the movie. They just weren't, like, pretended to be killed. Yeah. Like, are most people like, okay, that's
disgusted?
Wrong? Because I actually just saw somebody kill a cat. Like, I don't ever want to see somebody, like, that's not horror to me. I would think, like, why would you want to see that in real life? It's one thing to pretend that something is happening, and hopefully the movie's good enough where it does look real, but it didn't actually happen.
I think most people were disgusted after the fact once they learned. Another interesting thing about that, though, supposedly, according from the filmmaker, the animals, like the local tribe, used them to eat. So I mean, it is what it is. I suppose, I don't know. I don't want to see real animals die on set either, but if the local tribe's gonna use it to eat too, I don't know. It's kind of like, okay, but go with what you said there, though. Like, do people separate it? Like, can they tell the difference? I don't know if they can tell. Like, if it looks real, like when we watch Saw, we know it's fake. When we watch a movie like Cannibal Holocaust, though, it looks like it could be real. It's kind of hard to. You'd be like, I don't hope it's not real. I know there's laws against it.
But even if we're watching it and we think that it is real, in our minds we know that's not what we really are wanting, or would do, I guess. So if it turns out to be real, for my sake, I would be disgusted if I realized that was really happening,
Yeah, okay.
So.
Yeah. Like, if there was, let's say, like, a movie where there's, like, real people being killed in it, like, whatever, and I realize it's, okay, what we're watching now is, like, some sort of cartel torture video. I thought this was a movie. I thought I was watching Atroz, which is a Mexican, pretty much Saw. It's pretty much a Mexican Saw, where it's, like, a cartel torture stuff. And it looks real, but it's not real. But let's say you just showed it to somebody, they might think it's real. And what if it turns out it was real? Oh, then you got a crime right there. Then, okay, oh shit, that's graphic. Like,
I don't think I've ever watched any extreme horror on, like, the dark web or, like, anything like that.
Okay.
But now, I think the argument against that, though, would be, like, can we really separate it? Because what we're saying here is that if we found out after the fact that it was actually real people being killed or real animals being killed, then would we have have an aversion against it or towards it?
Okay, okay, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, so can we, like, I don't know if our mind's really separating whether or not it's real or not in the moment. Like, if you knew if it wasn't real in the moment, then why would you react to it? Why would you be disgusted? Like if you watch Human Centipede and you're disgusted by what you see, why does it disgust you?
Because it's disgusting.
Because it looks real, right?
So you say if you walked into a warehouse with that going on, it was real in the moment, how would you react?
Oh, if I walked into a warehouse and saw that, yeah, I would be disgusted. I'd be vomiting. I'd be horrified. The same way.
Yes, exactly.
I would the same way.
Yes.
The same way I would react when I watched a movie. So it'd be like, okay, so am I really telling the difference then?
But it is, because you know that's fake. You know it's not real. When it becomes more of a documentary type, then I think you go to beyond extreme horror and it becomes more real life, which it probably happens every day, but we don't actually really want to see that stuff. You know, seeing the real stuff hurts more than seeing the fake stuff, right? Isn't that how we all are?
I think so. I mean, we know that it's fake because we put the DVD in, or we select the movie to stream or whatever. We see all this stuff. Okay, this would be a cheesy B movie. This would be some stupid B smut stuff. Human Centipede talk about. Okay, so I know what I'm getting into. Some garbage fest. Okay, it's horrible. I know it's gonna make me vomit. Okay, I mean that part does sort of let you. It's reminding you that this is not real. This is fake. But I'm thinking like in the moment though. In that moment, like when you see it, like I don't think in that moment that you really. I don't know if the human brain really deciphers between, oh, this is real or this is fake. It's like, oh, that looks real.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you're probably right. You are probably 100% correct.
But at the same time, though, it's like, oh, but I wouldn't do that. That's not something I would support. Or which is the reason why you're reacting the way you are, because it's like, oh, this is horrible. This is gross, nasty. Turn this movie off.
It's just the brain takes just a little bit longer sometimes to follow up with your consciousness.
At the same time, there's people who watch these movies and they crack jokes left and right because of how ridiculous these movies are. Those guys, ladies, man, they are very aware.
Yeah, I don't do that.
So, I mean, this kind of goes to like, how there's limits with extreme for like what different people could tolerate. Let's say with the kids. I think we all agreed. We all talked out like we wouldn't really want to watch a movie that involved kids getting hurt, even if it was fake. So, but if we saw that in a horror movie, let's say like Serbian film, or that's the one example that's coming to mind right now. Like that would be like, that's like, no, I'm not even going to watch that. It's not. I don't even want to see that. That's gross. It's horrible. Too far. God, get away from me. Even fake. Can't take it. Yeah. Gross.
Yeah. See, I guess, and that's how I am about all of it, basically. That same, like, I don't want it. I don't even want to try it. So I guess my threshold is just much, much, much higher or lower or wherever than y'all's. But y'all still have a threshold, it sounds like. I guess everybody has one.
For the most part, I've seen. I mean, I've actually talked to one guest who actually said Serbian film was one of his favorite films. And that one was like, whoa, oh, all right. I was not expecting that because it's not really one that comes up. And wow. I didn't think anything less of the guy. We're having a conversation. But it's like, okay, all right. He explained this way. It was like, that movie, a movie like that, how horrible it is, how disgusting it is. It serves a purpose in that it makes you realize, it reminds you that there's some horrible shit that happens in real life. Some horrible, nasty, brutal stuff that happens all around us every day while we live our comfortable life, Yeah. And it's like, okay, I could see that.
So he kind of liked that, like, reality check that he got from watching it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I need to be really appreciative of what I have in life.
This sort of thing.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, films like that, I don't like films like that at all. Because it's wrong. It's horrible. It's disgusting. Yeah.
Now, would you say that films like that don't have artistic value or artistic merit or whatever?
That's kind of a loaded question.
It can be. I mean, and we're talking about one of the most extreme. I mean, I don't know if there's been a movie that topped it. I mean, that's like, I think that might be the most extreme movie at the moment.
I mean, I can't recall actually seeing that movie. I know I've seen other extreme. I actually don't recall that one in my brain, so I can't really talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen it, so I don't recall seeing it. So if I did, I must have been very drunk if I did.
It's okay. I will say about that movie, it does deceive you. Like when you first watch it, the cinematography looks fine. The visuals look fine. They look competent. It's like, okay, what I'm about to watch here. But it turns to something totally crazy, and you're like, what the hell? But we could bring it back to lesser extreme examples. I guess overall, like extreme violence and gore and let's say brutal subject matter, like let's say sexual assault and rape, like in the movie I Spit on Your Grave, or was it Last House on the Left? Movies like that. Like,
you're getting okay. I see what's going on here. Yes, I dig the movie I Spit on Your Grave, and the reason why I like that movie is because a woman was sexually assaulted, and then she takes it upon herself to take revenge against the men that assaulted her.
That's
and
right.
you know, I mean, maybe everybody's wrong in the situation. They were wrong for assaulting her. She's wrong for the revenge. But to see that happen and just the story behind it, her taking that, and it's very gruesome. Kara, you wouldn't like that one.
Okay.
Some of the torture scenes are just, I mean, even I cringe. I'm like cringing, like, oh my gosh, there's like, oh my gosh, the bobbers, no, not the bobbers, the hooks that you go fishing with, they like put them in the guy's mouth and pull it back and tie it around the tree to hold him so he, it's bad. And in his eye socket's horrible.
Oh.
But you know what though? It's all justified, in my opinion, from what they show. And the reason I bring this movie up is because when that movie came out, it was hit with so much controversy. People were saying that movie has like no artistic value, shouldn't even be made because of how gruesome and how brutal and how extensive the sexual assault scenes were. Now, how do you feel about that?
It was pretty bad.
I'm not a big person on censor. I can't say the word. Anyways, so I don't think it's anybody's. If somebody wants to make a movie, write a book, paint a painting, make a sculpture, if I don't like it, I don't have to look at it. I don't have to buy it. I don't have to watch it. I just turn away and I go buy my own, something I like. So as far as like people having an opinion on, that's not artistic or it shouldn't be made, it's just an opinion.
Right.
I don't think we should go down that road. I mean, not like us talking. I just mean as a society. If somebody wants to make it, then they get to make it. As long as they're not breaking any rules,
Or laws.
Well, I mean,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. I mean, I personally wouldn't watch it, but other people might, and they might think that it's a good movie, and not everybody likes all kind of art.
That's right. And I made the mistake of watching that movie with my wife or fiance at the time. It was gonna be like we had dinner at the house. We were looking for a movie to watch. For some reason, we selected that movie. I don't know why we selected that movie, and boy, did that kill the mood. That killed the mood. That was supposed to be one of those nights where it was a dinner and something else happened, No, nothing happened. No,
that's not the movie.
No, it wasn't. I had no idea what I was getting into. We had no idea what we were getting into. And like that movie was so, like, it happens multiple times. You're like, holy shit, this girl's, they're dragging her through everything. Like, it can't get any worse for her.
Who were you mad at more in that movie? Were you more mad at her?
No, I was mad at the...
Because I could see people being mad at her, or were you more mad at the men?
I was mad at the men.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good answer.
I mean, if it was my daughter, I would hope my daughter would have like some mace or a gun on her. A movie like that, I'm like,
definitely.
you know what? My daughter's
At
going to learn
that
not to
age,
shoot.
yes, definitely.
Have a gun.
Be protected.
Mm-hmm. And use that gun. If they come up to you, you shoot them in the dick. All right. So, but like I said, people were saying when the movie came out that it was too extreme and it shouldn't have been made or whatever. Now, Kara, you said, I like what you said there about, not really censoring and all that. What about you, Petal? Do you think it's a movie that shouldn't have been made? Do you think it might entertain the wrong person? You think the wrong person might enjoy that movie for the wrong reason?
That's kind of a touchy question.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's a tough one.
You could say yes, it was made for the wrong reasons, and maybe somebody could watch it and fantasize about that and do the wrong thing, or you could say no, the movie was never made, but then that same person does the same thing. I mean,
right.
You can't say that movies make people do things. Mm-hmm. Everybody can choose their own actions and what they do. If they're mentally unstable, then they need to seek mental health. I mean, that's a tough one.
I agree, though. I think you said it exactly right. Movies don't make people do stuff.
Right? I mean, violence and aggression has been around a lot longer than movies and books. I mean, it's
been around longer than humans have.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So yeah, I'm not thinking, though. I'm not thinking that someone watches I Spit on Your Grave and goes, you know what? I want to go do what those guys did. I'm not thinking that. No, but some people did. Some people did think that, and some people still think that about like TV shows and movies and even video games, whatever.
Yeah.
That's a whole thing. Oh, murder simulators. What? It's interesting though.
I don't know what murder simulators are.
Oh, it's a that's what they call video games. That's Call of Duty. You haven't played it? It's a murder simulator.
Oh, no, I don't play video games. I watched my son play some, but I've never seen Murder Simulator. It's only been like Apex or like, whatever they do.
Oh man! Next thing you tell me he plays like Fortnite and is gonna be doing his Fortnite dances. Horrible.
Oh no! Yeah, right now.
Or Minecraft and like thinking he could just like, I don't know, set fire to the forest, everything would be fine, or punching trees. I don't know.
He chopped down the tree.
I'm not gonna lie, he did play Minecraft, but that's been a few years ago now.
And you know what? That's a good example of how like media doesn't necessarily like lead to behavior. Like Minecraft, you punch trees to get wood. If a kid goes out there and starts punching a tree, that first punch is gonna be the last. It's gonna be like, oh, what is this? This is stupid. It's like even. I mean, that's my son. It's like, you want to punch that tree for sticks? Like, Dad, that's dumb. It's like, yeah, exactly. But,
how old's your son?
Oh, he's 7 now. He's 7.
7.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oh, this is the internet, so I don't give out my kids' names.
I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm trying to bug you with questions.
It's okay. We'll call him Little Man. Little Man.
Okay,
the little man's 7. 7.
That's a cool age. That's a good age.
Mm-hmm. So, any other thoughts about extreme horror and if there's some things that are just too extreme that should not be made or anything like that?
I don't think so. I think we've covered a lot, actually. Mm-hmm. More than I've ever talked about horror in my entire life, probably.
What do you normally read?
Definitely no child pornography. Definitely not. That's definitely okay. But yeah, I think Kara's right. We covered quite a bit.
Oh, you said something about pornography?
I said no pornography.
Oh, yeah. None of that. No to that.
Yeah. That's definitely it.
Yeah, hard no on that. And also furries. No furry pornography, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't even want to know.
I think she knows.
I think I have enough of a picture. My brain isn't letting me see that picture, you know.
Yeah,
It's
let's just say they bully
censoring.
they bully Tony the Tiger off of Twitter. That's how bad they are. Okay, they dress up as little tigers and foxes and whatever, and they turn into something weird.
Oh.
Petal, did you have any other questions for me?
I had a list of questions, but no, I think we're good.
Okay.
I think I'm done hounding you for the evening.
Oh, are you sure? I mean, I got
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we had a pretty good conversation about horror and extreme horror and things. That's good. I would ask what your favorite horror movie is, Kara, but what's your favorite romance movie? What's your favorite rom-com?
I don't really watch a lot of those either.
Okay.
Like, I'm not no. So, I mean, movie-wise, I kind of like the typical action, like Avengers or
Like Die Hard.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
haven't seen those in like forever, but yeah.
I watch it every year on Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's that season.
That's the Christmas movie. Yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah, right. What about for you, Petal? What's your favorite horror movie?
My favorite horror movie. See, I dislike when people ask me this question because a lot of people make their top 5s or their top 10 lists, and I just can't do that because it changes so often. Sometimes my horror depends on my mood, so I really don't have a top horror movie. I mean, I think my best one that I've seen would probably be The Platform. It's a Spanish movie.
Very gory.
Subtitle.
That's a good one.
But
I
see,
mean,
I actually think that's one Kara might actually watch because it has a story behind it. It's a psychological thriller. I mean, and I think that's one Kara might watch. I don't know if Jared's watched it. He might watch it with you.
Wait. If you watch that, then she should be able to watch it. The Platform, that has cannibalism in it.
Yes, but there's a purpose.
A purpose?
Still.
Have you not seen the movie?
I've seen the movie. I did a review on the movie. I like the gory stuff. I like the concept of the movie. My critique about the movie, my question is, why did it take, the movie, you never see any armed guards. There's no presence of armed security or whatever. All it is, the prisoners in this huge complex, and this platform comes down with food, and it goes all the way down, and they're supposed to
Do you not remember the beginning of the movie where they go involuntarily?
Yeah, they go
and they get to bring one thing.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that.
Yeah, so once they go in, and they're on their own then.
No. But what I'm saying is, why did it take them so long to, like, for one of them to go, hey, let's just ride the platform all the way to the top?
Because that person had been there for so long, they thought they would get out, I guess. And they've been riding it up and down, changing levels and getting the food platters based on their level. And
yeah, but you see how messed up it is. Like if I was at the very bottom, I'd just like get on the platform, go all the way to the very top, where the chefs are making all the food. I'd go up there. And
but how would you get there?
With the platform. The platform goes all the way up to the top.
But nobody's made it to the bottom because they die before then, because nobody in humanity and the platforms above them want to share the food below.
Well, you don't have to go to the very bottom to get on the platform. You could roll onto the platform as it's coming up, and you go all the way up. That's all you have to do.
But the very bottom, nobody's made it because they died.
I'm not even talking about the bottom. I'm saying, like, you could, once your cellmate says, man, this place is a hellhole. Oh, it is? It describes it to you? Okay. Once you see the cannibal, I'm saying, once I saw a little bit of cannibalism going on, I'd be like, you know what? I'm tapping out. I'm done here. I'm going to get on the platform.
We need to make our way out.
I'm jumping on the platform like Mario, and I'm going to ride it all the way up. And like I said, there's no presents or armed guards up at the very top where the chefs are at. I'll go up to there, and the chefs try to stop me. I'll just grab some frying pans and start trying to like attack them. We're like, dude,
There you go. That's your story, and that's exactly what you would do if you were in the platform.
And then what I'll do is like, man, this whole thing's rigged. Expose the system. Like, don't go to the platform. It's stupid. Just stay in jail. It's easier in jail. You get food every day in jail. The platform's rigged.
Kara, he's making it sound horrible. I actually think it's one you might like. There are some cannibalistic tendencies and some stabbing and crazy mind stuff. But I feel like there was a purpose for it. But
that sounds a bit, that might be a little too much for me. Now, it's funny though, like, so do most people in a horror movie think about how they would escape, just like you did?
I do.
Is that a common thing?
I do.
Like, oh, I do that different, or I do that different.
Yeah. Like in the Saw movies, I'm like, I wouldn't even be there in the first place. Well, then again, you don't know because like how they get you how they get their, I guess their contestants. What do you call them? Contestants in Saw. Someone walks up to them, they inject them up like that. Yeah. You say gladiators? I guess
players. You're right. Contestants, players.
Whatever. Yeah. I mean, they're all gonna die. I mean, they could call them cattle. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's like, but yeah, I kind of like, man, I'll do that differently. Don't run up the stairs. Don't. Okay, carry a gun on you. Why doesn't anybody have a gun? Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. This is a South Korean film. They don't have guns there. Okay. Like Train to Busan would be totally different if like
that's a good movie.
It is a good movie. It is a good movie. There's one I watched recently called #Alive. It was all right. It had some good moments to it. It's South Korean zombies stuff, and it really shows the life of this one dude who's like struggling to survive off the little food he has. It's kind of cool, but it was so hard for him against the zombies because he didn't have any weapons. All he had was a bat and a that's it. A bat and a frying pan, and it's like, all right, like the only gun in the whole movie was like a revolver, and it was from a cop who gets killed. It's like, okay, all right, like. It's like, man, I'm glad I'm in Texas where I have guns all around me. Zombies come. It's not the zombies I'm worried about. It's the other people who want to take my stuff. That shit. It'd be like The Walking Dead over here. That's what it'd be. But yeah, I think about that stuff, especially with the platform. I was like, and I know I was criticizing the platform, but I liked the concept and I liked how gory it was. The visuals
and
were great.
it was crazy though how you didn't realize that he could choose the one item until later, or that's how I saw it, that he knew he could choose one item, but he didn't know what he was getting into when he was going into the platform, right? I don't know, it was good. I liked it.
And he chose that book. He chose the Don Quixote.
Yeah, and it ended up working out good for him. So
he survived
with a little bit of cannibalism. Well, he goes to doesn't he go to the very? He goes to he went to the very bottom and he saw that kid. And
that's going to be a spoiler for people who haven't seen it, because remember he lets the
kid
out.
Yeah. So the kid will make it to the top. Wait a second. I didn't rewatch the movie because I thought there was a scene where, you know what? There's a scene where that one girl that keeps on riding the platform, she does make it to the very top, but she doesn't leave. She wants to go back down to get her son or whatever. Or maybe she likes eating people now. I don't know. But I would go to the very top and be like, Chef, I'm done. Like, I'm leaving right now. Who's going to stop me? You want to fight?
That's crazy food they prepare. It's all like fancy food just for that little platform, for that experiment.
Yeah. Well, that is a pretty good movie. Has some interesting holes in it, but pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's about it here. So Kara, Petal, thank you so much for coming on Horror Talk Radio to talk about horror and extreme horror.
Thank you very much.
And no problem. All right, and feel free to.
Yeah, thank you. Well.
And feel free to hop on any time if you want to talk about another horror movie or you know what, if you watch a horror movie, be like, hey, you know what, I actually like this. We can talk about it. Look at that.
What if I don't like it? What if I'm like, no?
Oh, even better.
Never happening again.
Even better. We could talk about the problems and whatever the issues of a particular movie. That'd be great. That'd be fun.
So either way, huh?
Yeah,
It gives a different perspective.
I could debate trivial bullcrap all day long. So don't worry. Don't worry.
Well, and I guess to all your other listeners, like if they're horror lovers, they can find love with somebody who's not a horror fan too. Like, because
Right.
Jared and I make it work. So, and maybe they can even pull them over to the horror side, like Jared's doing to me. So, we'll see.
Look at that. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you guys take it easy. Have a good one.
Bye.